It's funny because I can know some of my earliest memories is playing in the garden with my dad and loving the smell of the garden, the dirt. And then I remember making mud pies. And you know how you put your bicycle upside down and you turn your wheels and you got mud or something. And I remember trying to sell mud pies for a dime. And then we would play in the woods. I was always playing with the guys. I couldn't do the Barbie doll thing. And we would be in the woods and I would find things and make things out of mostly dirt, mud. I mean, it's always messing with the dirt in my hands. It was just kind of weird, and it just kind of evolved into this because it just seemed like the path. My name is Su Beyer. Now, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I've been up here 25 years. Enjoy everything. Outdoors mostly, but for a living, what I've done for like to earn money living, I've been doing ceramics since 1987 back in St. Cloud. It was a small, what is that called? A cottage. I hired women in the neighborhood and we all did piecework, and I had this line of, I got some of the molds still, molded pottery ceramics back in the 80s, little ducks and hearts and stuff, you know, but it kept me and the 4 kids at home so I could earn a living, and that was my living then. They call it ceramicist. I had never heard that term before until I went to St. Ben's. I just called it, I just make ceramics, you know, but they kind of, and then I also say I'm a potter, but although I do a lot of functional stuff, which is pottery, I also do my more fun stuff is sculpture, and that is, I call that pottery or ceramics. That stuff's the pottery, and the other is the ceramics. Wow, my mom was an oil painter. She was an artist. My dad was a plumber. He put pipes together, I guess. That's what he did. But I never knew my grandfather, my mom's dad, but apparently he was a violinist that was crazy, amazing. And he also was a woodworker. And I have a couple tables that he had inlaid wood in. So he had a visual handcraft that I'm aware of. Yes. Yeah, I was always kind of the outlier. And then in high school, I was given a task to do in a couple of creative classes, and I always did things that were what they asked, only not. And I had a teacher tell me once, well, this isn't what I asked, but it's so cool, we're going to go ahead and keep it. And do you mind if I keep it in my library to show others? So I just did stuff because I didn't like the rules that they threw at me. But that's just kind of, yeah. I never have, and I still don't, because I just do what I love, and it changes so much. Yeah, now I have, my children are all artists, and I look at them as artists. I feel more of a crafts person until I get to my sculpture, which I haven't really started to explore yet because, I don't know. I think there's fear there to explore that part. I have a whole lot of ideas, and I've executed a few of them, kind of halfway. It's a word that maybe I don't really understand. My pottery, my functional stuff, I'm a real tactile person. Like I explained earlier, I always had my hands in something, and to touch a mug, to touch a spoon, a fork, tree, a leaf, anything. I'm all over this touch thing. And when it comes to everyday things, like stuff I use all the time, that just is my inspiration. That's what made me look at functional art as something beyond a mug or a bowl, because of the tactile sense that I get from it. And then I like other people to use my pottery so that there's that connectedness with people. The sculpture stuff I do is exploring things that I have up here, and a knowledge of the materials, how I want it together. So many times I get frustrated because I got this great idea and it doesn't come through the way I want, but the end piece is interesting. I have a general idea of what I want to do, but it comes out more of an expression of the process. And that's where my sculpture is. It's just a freeness to express or to delve into something, as opposed to pottery being more functional and grounded, I guess. I'm so visual because my stuff is that the stuff passing through me, racing as I'm driving, or I'm always seeing things. I think it's more of a big idea. I have in my mind what I want, so there's my launch pad. And then I just look around, I'll find materials. I have an idea, but I might find something else that'll work better. So yeah, the idea is the launch pad, that's a good word. And then I just kind of let things go from there. And I try not to be too bound like I am more with the mug. Yeah, 4 kids. Yeah. And 1 stepson. But yeah, my oldest, Stephanie, is a scientist and she works at Emory University in the lab. And then I have a daughter, Julie, up in Duluth, and she has some twin 10-year-old granddaughters. And then my son, Christopher, lives in St. Cloud right now, and he is an artist. He went to MCAD, and he's like drawing and digital art. And then my son, Timothy, my youngest, is in Portland, Oregon, which is a great place. And he is also an artist. He's dabbled in clay, but he's also an artist in that sense. Oh yeah. They were always in here with me and making stuff in clay and painting stuff and just creating and just do whatever you want, kids. Yeah, I think so. I think that helped them being exposed. And I try to make sure as a parent that I encouraged them to create. Because I think that their life experiences would be better if they did something that they loved. I see so many people close to me that were stuck doing things they didn't really want, and their talents were just frustrating for them. All those what ifs in life, and I don't want my kids to experience that. No. I've tried. This is horrible to say. I've tried working for people. I've walked out of 3 jobs. I just can't do it. So whenever I was here in this space making whatever I could make, like when I was home in St. Louis with the 4 kids, I was a single mother with 4 kids, making a living out of her basement, pouring pottery. That was my happy space, and I couldn't do anything else. Plus, then you got the kids. You want to be there for them too. Vegetables, good food, flowers, cooking, and long distance backpacking. I love hiking. I love being in the woods for long stretches of time. Yeah. Yeah, I dream about it. Yeah. My earliest memories of anything back growing up in St. Louis is, I was the oldest of 5, and Mom would shove us out the door and don't come back to lunch, and we would find things to do, and we're out riding bikes and playing in the woods and in the mud and, in the creek swings, and tire swings stuff. I was just always outside. It was just like, that was my home, to be outside. And inside is just the opposite of that. It's just confining. I always have my windows open or something, no matter what the weather, just to be outside. The appellation goes from Georgia all the way up to Maine. And I've done Georgia and Tennessee, North Carolina, Maryland, Pennsylvania. This isn't any order. Virginia, West Virginia, New York, New Jersey, Vermont. And that's where it stopped. I got into New Hampshire a little bit. I still have New Hampshire, Maine. There's 14 states total. I've done 12. And I've done maybe 200 or 300 on the Superior Hiking Trail. If you're familiar with the Ice Age Trail in Wisconsin, it's 1,200 miles that snake around Wisconsin. It's 10,000 years ago, the Ice Age shelf that you can actually see it if you knew enough about geology, which is my second love. I know nothing about, but if I had another life, I would learn. But it takes you through the kettles and the moraines of the Ice Age. And I've done about 400 miles of that. Those are my kind of my defaults when I can't get out and do the Appalachian Trail. Those are the ones I'll bits and pieces there and do. That hike took me to places that were such a challenge, and mostly mentally. The physical stuff is what took me off the trail, but the mental stuff was something I could bring home, something I learned of myself. At the time you're in the middle of it, it's like, oh my God, what in the world am I doing? I should not be here. I should be home in this cozy place. But it's when you're in those places of discomfort that I find I learn more about myself. It's easy to be easy. When you push through it, the feeling of that sense of self and what I got out of pushing through it, I can bring back to other mental things that I have to go through in life. And I can just draw on that strength. So, yeah, good question again. Yeah, I think the crossover again is just when I think of pottery and even the smell of my clay, the outside and the smell of, actually my trail name is Mud Smeller, for many reasons, although I did not face plant, but that might happen. But yeah, I think the inspiration is also another thing with a lot of ceramicist potters, whatever, usually have maybe a small palette of color, and I have a wall. On the other side of that wall, I got about 3 dozen buckets. Each one is different colors and jars of colors, and I love color. And I think I bring that from being outdoors. Yeah, I think it's a give from both sides. When I'm outside, I pick up things from being in the clay or in the mud, and when I'm inside, I pick up stuff that I brought in from out there. Yeah, Heidi contacted me, and I'm thinking, that's pretty amazing, but yeah, whatever. When I got the message from Greg at Art in Motion to come out and look at and maybe talk about doing some mugs for your coffee in your kitchen area, your food area, I thought, okay, well, I'll go out there. And I went out there, and it's like, whoa, really, look at this place. This man is serious. I don't know who he is. I don't know where he came from. I know nothing about him, but he is serious. I'm thinking, holding board, really? After I understand his story, I get it. And I understand, I think, what he's trying to do and why. And yeah, it blew me away. His intent is pretty, I think, very genuine. And man, it's a great thing for artists to have a place that's appreciated and showcased in such a beautiful space. And he's really thought this through well, I feel. I would love to collaborate. My son and I have talked about that lots of times too. My website is crowdedhousepottery.com. My Facebook page, I have a Crowded House Pottery Facebook page. What else do I have? I think that's it. Phone numbers is on there, is on the website, right? I think that's it. Mostly my Facebook page and my website. Exactly what I tried to do for my kids. Find something other than your passion that you want to do it. Find somebody who believes in you, somebody that is there to help you, to encourage you. If you, not to the point where they're driving you nuts or anything like this, but I didn't get a lot of encouragement when I was young. My dad wanted me to do all these other things. He always wanted all of his daughters to get married, have a bunch of kids, get a side job, work in a restaurant or whatever. I mean, none of that's bad. It just wasn't what I wanted. I told him what I wanted. My sister was an artist, and he just he just drove him nuts that, and that was hard to overcome somebody in your space that doesn't believe in you or what you're doing. So I think that would be my first big advice is surround yourself with people that believe in you, even if it's just one, or a book or a cyber friend, whatever, somebody that says you can do this and it's a good thing.